Welcome to Raw Take, everyone, the lifeline to your unfiltered media experience. I'm your host, Gion Thomas, and Joe Biden needs to cut the checks. As we've seen in the past couple of days, Joe Biden has agreed to increase the threshold for $1,400 stimulus checks to $75,000 recipients. And in joint couples making $150K, they can also file for stimulus checks. As we have seen throughout the pandemic, these are unprecedented times. People are completely running through their savings. They're running through their savings. They're running through any little amount of money that they had that they thought they could save because there's no jobs. The economy has come to a halt. The threshold for these stimulus checks should at least be maybe 115. I mean, we're taking data from 2019, from a year ago. People aren't making the same amount of money. People have significantly dropped off. The government needs to cut $2,000 checks. Joe Biden went to Georgia and said that they were going to cut $2,000 checks. And now they keep going backwards instead of going forward. This is what I do not understand. People are suffering. And the thing is, they'll say, oh, we don't want people who shouldn't get the money qualified to get it. You give the money to everybody, and the people that don't necessarily need it, I'm talking about the mega rich, people making like over 150K, they don't need that money. They probably, especially if you're making that a year, you probably saved up for a rainy day. But everybody else is suffering. We know that the middle class is vanishing. We know that if you're making $50,000 a year, this will help you. This stimulus check will help you. People are going to spend this money. They're going to circulate it back into the economy. I just don't understand why we are not cutting these checks. Why are we debating on who should get the checks? Just cut the check. Tax it on the back end. That's all you got to do. That's the simple, easiest way to do it. I mean, we're hearing crazy stories. There was a story of a Texas teen who had to use her savings, her college savings, to stop her mom from being evicted. That's asinine. This is the richest country in the world. And you're telling me that this girl has to use her college savings to help her mom out from being evicted? That's unbelievable. All these other modern countries are cutting checks to their people. But America, we're watching you suffer and die. And plus, all these modern countries, Japan, Canada, they give their people free college. So this girl, she uses this money, she uses her college money to stop her mom from being evicted, and now what? Now she's stuck out. She doesn't even have free college. We don't even have free college to give her. I mean, the system is constantly failing people. In a time of need, in a crisis, in a pandemic, we are failing our constituents. The American government is failing its people. And we're doing this political theater with trying to, I understand impeaching Donald Trump. But, if you would have asked me, I would have used the 14th Amendment, because he tried to do an insurrection. They could have went that way. It would have been quiet, slow, quick, and easy. But they want to do this political theater when we can be helping the people. We need to help people right now. People are in dire need of help. And your government is supposed to be there to help you. They take your money, every purchase you make. At the end of the year, you have to file your taxes. They come for their money, but when you need help, they're nowhere to be seen. That's asinine. How are you going to participate in the system and they take money from you, and then when you need actual help, it's not going to be there to help you? That makes no sense. Our government is failing our people, and this is so sad. Cut the checks. We're the richest nation in the world. You got nations way who don't even have the same GDP as us, and they're cutting checks. That doesn't make sense. That does not make sense, y'all. We need to question our government. Question your government. Ask more from your government. They ask from you. They get from you. They get your tax dollars. Shoot, that's what people don't understand. We should be able to have these things. They get their percentage. We need to get something for that.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
It's that simple. I just don't understand. It's mind-boggling what's happening right now. I mean, in the richest country in the world, you have this teenager who has to give her college savings, money that she has saved up, worked, probably donations, and now she has to give that she has to help her mom. Joe Biden needs to cut checks. He needs to make them reoccurring checks. He needs to stop evictions, and he needs to at least give the people $2,000 monthly. $2,000 monthly. People who don't need it, you tax on the back end. It's that simple, people. Government is not that hard, especially when you have abundance of money and when you control your own debt. That's what people don't understand. Look up the book, Myth About the Deficit. It will explain a lot about how we hold a lot of our own debt. We can write this stuff off because it's benefiting us. And they come out with all these reports on how we're gonna go bankrupt.
You serious?
That's asinine. That's asinine. And people want to say, well, who's gonna pay for it? We're gonna pay for it. We pay for everything else. We pay for it with our tax dollars. $750 billion a year on war. We can cut that in half. We spend more than the next seven different countries, 7 developed countries. That's asinine. But you got people who are suffering. You got a girl who has to stop evictions with her own college money. And so now she's stuck out. And what the government, what are you going to do? Are you going to be there to help her? No, we're going to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. She pulled herself up by her bootstraps and the government failed her. Our government is failing a lot of us, and that's sad. It's a sad day in America. And we're going on with this political theater. I understand the threat Trump is. I talk about the threat Trump is. But you got people suffering. I think we could chew gum and walk at the same time, but this needs to be a priority. It's already February. It's almost mid-February. We need to get these checks need to be cut. Checks need to be given out. They need to be reoccurring. It's a no-brainer. Your people are suffering. Help them. People need help. Give it to them. Give it to them. Supply and demand. All right, guys. I want to thank everybody for watching. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any uploads. And also, you can now find us on the Anchor app. So be sure to check us out on the Anchor app. Thank y'all very much. Y'all have a good day.